Hi guys, how are you doing? I am doing super good. I am doing amazing like always, and I welcome you back once again on our channel. We are officially in spring. We are also in the month of March. With March comes the tax declaration. I'm sure by now you all must have received your tax declarations via digitally or via physical copy. From 14th of March you can start declaring your taxes until 2nd of May. We have already made a video on this topic a year back. However, the audio quality of that video was not super great, and also we have gained few more experiences on this topic in last 1 year. So we thought to share one more video with you. Thus, in this video we would like to cover all the sections of a tax declaration form that you must know. Also the component of your income that you should declare, and also the components of your expenses that you must declare to avail the tax benefits in Sweden. For that, please stay tuned till the end.
Three basic things which you need to know before filing the taxes. First thing is like when you are applicable for filing the taxes. Is it like as soon as you arrive in Sweden, you become a tax resident over here. So you are supposed to file your taxes if you have any kind of earnings, or if you have any kind of expense as well, you can declare and avail the tax benefit as such. The second important thing is the tax value or the tax amount which you are entitled to pay will depend upon two different things. First one is like where exactly you are living within Sweden, or you can be very specific like which commune you are staying into. From commune to commune the tax percentage will vary, plus how much you are earning. So these are the two important factors which will define that how much tax you are going to pay. The tax returns what we are going to file now, like in tax declaration 2023, which is called as, you are going to define or declare the taxes which you have paid for the year 2022, and the period is January 2022 till December 2022. So that's the period for which you are declaring the taxes now.
Talking about the sections of tax declaration, there are total 18 sections in tax declaration form. From 1st till 9, the sections of tax declaration is meant for private entity. From 10th till 17th, the tax declaration is meant for the commercial activity. We will not cover the part of commercial activity in this video. And the section 18 is for other information. If there is some information which is not mentioned in this tax declaration form, then you can mention that particular information in the section 18 in others column. Section 1 of this form is regarding your income. Income through your salary, income through your pension, or income that you might have earned through a hobby. For example, a YouTube channel, if you have a YouTube channel which is monetized and if you have earned something, and then that income can be mentioned in the section 1. Section 2 is regarding deductions, especially the deduction related to your travel expenses, deduction to your dual accommodation, deductions related to your business trips, and so on. Section 3 is regarding general deductions. Section 4 is regarding your basic deductions related to your route or grid or renewable energy expenses. Section 5 and Section 6 is related to the property taxes, and the very important Section 7, which is related to your income through capital gains. It can be through funds, it can be through dividends, or it can be through any other type of capital gains. For example, if you have sold some property and you have had some capital gains, so in that case you have to mention that income in this section, which is section 7. And section 8, which is again very important, is related to your capital deductions. This includes, let's say you have had some losses in your investment, which is a capital loss. In that case you can mention that losses in the section 8. You have had some loss in a sale of your property. In that case you can mention that in the section 8. Coming back to section 9, which is related to your foreign insurance endowment policies. If you have some policies in your home country, in any other countries, which is endowment policies, in that case you have to mention the gain that you might have on that endowment policy in this section. For example, I have a LIC policy in India, which is an endowment policy. So if I gain some amount on that endowment policy, I have to declare that amount in section 9.
Most of the things what you earn over here or what expenses you make over here are already captured on the form itself. So you just need to review that and submit the form. But supposingly you have some other kind of incomes or other kind of expenses which you need to declare manually as well. That's what part we'll be discussing now. First point of that is in section 2. So section 2 is nothing but avdrag, which is like a reduction or expenses, what you can call it. In that, the first point, if suppose you are traveling to your office and you stay almost like 2 kilometers far from your office, that time you can avail a benefit of using public transport or using a car, your own car or private car, what you use, you can avail a deduction on that. But then that deduction has a cap as well. So supposingly, if you have done expenses which are more than like 11,000, and that is for a complete whole year, expenses more than 11,000 SEK, then on any amount above that you can declare it over there and you can claim a tax benefit on that. So that is first point. Now the second kind of manual entry which you need to do on the form, if you are applicable for that, is within 2.3, the section which is like 2.3. In that you will find something which is called as double bostadning. You have a double accommodation, and the double accommodation can be anywhere, like it can be within Sweden, it can be out of Sweden, wherever. But then the distance between your living accommodation or your living house should be at least more than 50 kilometers than your second house. So I will just give an example. Suppose now you are staying in Stockholm and then you get an offer or in another country or maybe in another place within Sweden itself, which is more than 50 kilometers apart. That time you can avail this benefit, but there is one more condition into that, in which you need to spend the night as well over there. And in your main house, it should be your cohabiting partner or your wife who is staying there. Then you will meet all the conditions and then you can avail the benefit for double bostadning. In which what you can do is, like, if suppose you have rented the second place rent, you can avail a 30% deduction on that. If suppose the rent of that place is like maybe 6,000 SEK every month, for whatever tenure you are living within the period of January 2022 to December 2022, you can multiply that into 12 if you have stayed across the whole year, and then you can put that complete amount, whatever it is. So on that particular amount you will get a 30% reduction. So that's one part of it. The second part of that also means that you can also get a reduction on one trip. If suppose you are staying somewhere within at your second place and then you are coming back every week, so for every week one of the trip which is the lowest one, so while you are going from Stockholm to Gothenburg maybe and then coming back from Gothenburg to Stockholm, whichever is the medium of travel, you can have your own car, you can go by bus, you can go by train, you can go by flight, whatever means you take, on one ticket you can avail a tax reduction. You can claim, you can add into the same amount which I just told you. So that also belongs into 2.3. But remember one thing, you need to clearly explain all these factors, what you have done for your calculation, in section 18, so that the person who is handling your case at Skatteverket understands what you have done exactly. The same double accommodation, for the very first month when you have moved to a new place, there is also an additional per day allowance which you can add or you can deduct while declaring your taxes, and that is for this 2022 it is 72 crowns per day. So in your second place or wherever you rented the place at your job, at your new job I would say, there what you can do is, for suppose you have stayed there for like maybe 15 days, for that whole month, for the very first month only you can do this deduction. You can multiply, maybe suppose you have stayed there for like 10 days in that particular month, you can multiply by that particular amount by 72, and that is the amount 720 SEK. You can add it to the total deduction as well in 2.3 section. So now let's talk about some capital investment part. First thing I want to start with the kind of accounts what we have in Sweden itself, and that amount will directly appear in 7.1 section. If you have an account which is called as ISK account or a KF account. So all this have a flat tax which is applicable for such kind of accounts in Sweden, and whatever broker you use for having ISK or KF account, the flat tax will directly appear on your form itself, so you don't need to do anything. But then apart from that, if suppose you own some shares or some stocks or some mutual funds in account called as AF account, then you need to manually declare all your profit, all your losses, if you have made any profit or losses, on a form which is called as K4. And once you file that K4 form on Skatteverket, because you need to enter every stock manually, how many units you have purchased or how many number of stocks you have purchased, how much you have sold, what was the profit or what was the loss after selling that. So all this will be computed and then it will appear in the respective section. If you have made a profit, it will come in a subsection of 7th section, and then also in a subsection of 8 also there is a space or a subsection which will have the losses from that. And if you own anything even out of Sweden, like suppose you are investing in US by using some another broker, or you are investing somewhere in India or any other country and you are using another broker out of this, then you still need to use a form which is K4, the same form, and you need to follow that process. Skatteverket website also explains how to do that, but then remember you need to fill a K4 form for any kind of investment which you have sold or if you own it. Majorly it is for the profit and loss, but then remember if you have made a profit, then there will be flat tax of 30% on that. If you have made a loss, there can be a reduction of like 30% on whatever is your income slab already here. So now we have talked about all the manual declarations what you need to make, but then apart from this there is one more very big chunk of manual declaration which you may need to make as well, and that is nothing but other information, and that is section 18. Let's take an example. If suppose you have some income which you are making from your home country as well. For example, you own a house over there and you have rented it out. If you have rented it out and you are getting some income from that, you need to declare that, and then that can be taxable as well, and you might need to pay tax on that, but there is a limit as well. So if you own multiple properties, suppose wherever you are coming from in your home country or wherever out of Sweden, then and if you have income from that, so every property you can have an exemption of 40,000 SEK per property. If you are not earning more than 40,000 SEK, then you don't need to pay any taxes over here on that particular income. But then remember, if you are making more than that, then you need to pay taxes, and this part you need to declare in section 18. Important thing about this is even if you are earning like very less amount than 40,000, you still need to declare it, so that Skatteverket is aware about that you have some income coming across some other country as well. You need to be very specific that you own a house in this particular country and this is the income which I earn. So that's how you can mention, and be very specific what kind of income is that, whether that is a dividend income, it is a rental income, then you need to specify that. It is not only about paying extra tax when you have an income outside, but then it's also about like you can claim back if you have a scheduled payment back at your home country as well, so which are termed as expenses. Supposingly if you have a home loan back in your home country and then you are paying a EMI or a monthly installment as well, so you get a 30% exemption on that interest what you pay every month. So what you need to do is you need to contact your bank, or probably you might already have your income statements or the interest statement what they call as, or the repayment statements from your particular bank back at your home country or wherever you own this particular land where you are paying the home loan from the tenure of January 2022 till December 2022. You need to calculate how much interest you have paid. That interest is what you need to write down into section 18, and you can get or you can avail 30% reduction on that. But remember, whatever amount you are writing in section 18, you need to convert it to SEK or to crowns, and then you can follow the standard rate whenever you made that expense. Suppose you have paid an installment in month of January 2022, and you can calculate, okay, I paid in maybe INR or USD, and then you can translate that to SEK, and that is the amount which should be written in section 18. And make sure that you write it very clearly. What kind of expense is that? Like, I have been paying a home loan and the interest for this particular year has been this much, and I have considered the currency exchange rate of this much. So then it becomes very easy for the case officer of a skatteverket to understand what exactly you are trying to say, and it will get approved as soon as possible.
Once you log in on your skatteverket, you can find your tax declaration form. You click on the tax declaration form. You can find there are multiple tabs. For example, you have start, you have change, you also have the bank account, my details, and submit. In start or in verify, you can check details provided by the skatteverket. Is it okay based on your expenses, based on your income? If you do not agree with the expenses mentioned by the skatteverket, you can go to tab change, and within change you can select where exactly, in which section exactly you would like to mention the change, and submit the form. Once you submit the tax declaration form, your status of income declaration will change from not submit to submit, and once it's approved, the status will change to approve. And finally, thank you so much for watching till here, and we hope that the content we have shared will help you. We will come back again on a new day, on a new topic on this channel. Please stay tuned. Till then, bye bye.